Hello and welcome to another edition of Shirt Swap with the former Arsenal and Borough striker Jérémie Aliadière. Jérémie, welcome.
Thank you.
Obviously, we've got to start with probably the most iconic game. Me and you played against each other.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Ipswich, Youth Cup semi-final. You ultimately ended up going through 4-2 in the second leg, but I mean, what a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy game. I remember you. It was you against me. It was who were going to score more goals will go through. It was insane. We lost the first leg, if I remember
4-3.
well, 4-3, when you scored maybe a couple of minutes.
I got two, yeah. I got two, but I got one, I think 93rd minute or something for the winner.
Yeah, and then we were devastated because we didn't expect Ipswich to be any good, you know. We just for semi-final, Ipswich, yeah, we'll go through, we'll go to the final and take the cup. But yeah, it was crazy game, I remember.
All right, cool. So we've got three absolute ballers to discuss. So let's start with shirt number 3. Right, Jérémie, so number 3, you've gone for Nicolas Anelka. You know him really well.
Yeah.
You come from the same area. How would you describe, maybe for people that don't quite know Nicolas Anelka, how would you describe him?
For me, he was one of the best finisher, so fast as well. And his mind, how in a space of like not even a second, he was gone. So as a defender, you couldn't get too close to him because he was so much faster than everybody else. And his reaction on the pitch was just lightning. So, you know, I know, you know, you can mention Thierry Henry, Drogba, or them big name striker, but purely talented, I think he was up there with them. You know, he didn't have, I think, the career that he kind of deserved. Maybe as his personality as a man outside, you know, people was maybe judging him without knowing him. You know, as you said, I'm from the same era in Paris, so I've known him, you know, from a very young age, and I've always looked up to him. I've always looked, you know, his movement and the way he was on the pitch. You know, when I could get his shirt, it was just like, yes, please.
Was he someone then, because you said that you come from the same area, is he someone that you looked up to then, knowing that someone from your area has been so successful that you can get there as well?
Oh yeah, massively. And the fact that he was at Arsenal as well. You know, that was the French connection with Anelka there. So me growing up, I was like, oh my God, Arsenal. And when I got the phone call from Wenger, I called him straight away. I said, Nico, I'm coming. I
wish I could have got that call.
And sadly, he said, listen, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, mate, but I won't be there. He already knew he was going to move that summer when I joined.
Real Madrid?
He went to Real Madrid, and he's just telling me, listen, I won't be there. And I was gutted, you know, because I just thought, playing with him, training with him, you know, would have been a privilege. And a bit gutted that he left Arsenal then at the time. And then after that, I've played a few times against him. And every time I was just trying to get it, but somebody were quicker than me, getting it before me. So I was just always like, oh, God, you know, I've got to be quicker to get the shirt. Yeah. And that game, I thought, you know what, I'll ask him in the dressing room before kick-off. I said, Nico, keep this one for me, please. Whoever comes and asks you, just keep it for me, mate. And that's, that was the good story.
Do you think Anelka's underrated?
I think he is, yeah. I think if you name the clubs he's played for and all the coaches he's had, you can't be signed for all them clubs and not have something special, you know, being playing for Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Madrid. There's not many players that can do that, you know. So obviously them coaches and people that got him into their club must have thought he had something special. So I think he was underrated, yeah.
It's funny you should say that, because when I was at Aston Villa with Dominic and Gerard Houllier, Gerard Houllier loved him. Even though obviously they fell out, he left the World Cup, it was crazy. Gerard Houllier loved him. Whenever he signed me, Gerard Houllier, and he spoke to me about him, he'd always say about how good Anelka was, like talent, because he was at Clairefontaine. You was there, wasn't you?
I was there as well, yeah.
Was Gerard Houllier the kind of brain behind that Clairefontaine?
He was,
wasn't he?
And he was kind of, at the beginning of it, he was kind of the director of it all, you know. He was really, you know, sorting out all the French squad and all that academy. He was the man behind it. So obviously he's known Anelka, Thierry Henry, all the boys that came out from that academy. And he's always been, if you ask anybody that have been there, he's the name that comes out as the best one coming out from that academy.
Because he always used to say to me, he'd say Thierry was brilliant, but the one who had probably more ability, more natural ability than all of them, all the strikers that he worked with, was Anelka.
Yeah, it was, definitely. And even if you speak to Thierry Henry, he'll tell you the same. He will tell you Anelka had more talent than him.
Yeah.
But I think mind and the ambition to make it as successful as possible, Thierry was different. But pure talent, I think Anelka was better, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Thierry's my hero, so I'm not really going to say too much about Thierry. Well, listen, nice, Jeremy. So that's Anelka at shirt number 3. So let's see what he's got for shirt number 2. Right, so Jeremy, you've gone for QUARESMA at 2. I mean, listen, again, why have you gone for this shirt first and foremost, the Porto shirt, and why QUARESMA?
Well, first, playing Champions League, youth play Champions League.
I have not. Let's just cut that bit.
Oh, you haven't?
Let's just cut that bit, I haven't.
No, you haven't.
Never.
With Spurs, you never played Champions League?
No, I left the year they got qualified.
I apologise. I swear I thought you did.
Hey, chop that. We'll keep going there.
I'm sorry, mate.
You love that, didn't you? Yeah, QUARESMA, Porto. Why QUARESMA?
Champions League, playing the Champions League, biggest, cup that you can win for me as a club. and the funny story about this, obviously, I've always loved the player. We are similar age, and I've always looked at him thinking, what a great talent, all them outside top corners.
Yeah.
I just love these skills and his touch with the outside of the foot. And so Champions League with Arsenal, we're going to Porto. I'm on the bench. And then I'm not thinking of trying to get QUARESMA shirt or trying to get so-and-so shirt. Obviously, I was keep looking at him, watching the game. I've never come on, so I was a bit disappointed not coming on. So, when you don't come on, you just get a bit frustrated. Get back in the dressing room, so I'm just, a bit miserable, like I didn't play and stuff. And I've got a kit man coming with QUARESMA shirt, coming in and say, Jeremy. And I look at him and he's like, QUARESMA wants your shirt. And I was like, don't want me up, you're joking, right? And he wanted my shirt. So I just said, yeah, please, I'll have his shirt, thanks you very much. And that's how it happened, I just didn't really look for it, and then it's just turned up. That was it.
I mean, that is nice. I mean, would you say QUARESMA, like obviously you said you didn't play against him then, but would you say he's probably one of the most skillful players that you've ever seen? For
me, yeah, definitely. With the outside of his foot and the touch he had and the control and the way he was like driving forward with the ball, it's just amazing to watch. You just see some players that got something different, and even the vision, like we said about them few goals he scored with the outside of his foot, you never think he's going to shoot. Yeah. You just think no way he's going to shoot from there. He's in an awkward position, awkward angle, and then he just go with them curve. And then just top corner, keeper can't do anything about it.
Because you think about it, he clearly started with Ronaldo. And you look at their two, I think he was ahead of Ronaldo. People were saying that he was the better of the two. Yeah. And you kind of look where Ronaldo is and where QUARESMA is. Even though he's had an unbelievable career.
Oh, still, yeah.
But when you look at Ronaldo.
Completely different direction, right? Obviously, Ronaldo's at top and probably best player ever. He didn't get to that stage, but he still had a great career. He still played for top club, won some trophies, and obviously, his talent. I'm always kind of try not to really look at the, trophy cabinet and more as the pure talent. And for me, was one of the best I've seen. And obviously, I didn't come on at that game, but seen in flesh.
Yeah. You said you didn't come on in that game. Someone who started up front was Adebayor.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he like on and off the pitch? Because you start laughing already. I asked the question, you start laughing already. Like, what was he like?
He's just a bit of a crazy guy, like one of them guys you just don't know what kind of spirit he's gonna be. He'll come on in the morning, come in the dressing room, be all happy, and you have a crack with him and just joke and anything goes on. And then some other days he's just not happy, and then in training he'll tackle anybody and just have a fight with Kolo Touré, and all sort of thing goes on. But as a player, he was a fantastic player. I think obviously moves in his career made fans dislike him. But I think goals he scored for Arsenal or for City, played for Madrid as well, Spurs.
He was there, Madrid.
He's had a great career as well. He's obviously one of them guys that
a little bit like Anelka.
A bit like Anelka in some ways, yeah. Had a bit of an outside kind of perception from fans that didn't really like him for what he was doing outside the pitch and the club he was, and the way he was leaving the club he was at. I'm talking purely for Arsenal fans, there. Yeah. But as a player, I can remember some goals he scored. I can remember that goal against Spurs at Ireland.
flick volley,
the
whack.
flick and that volley, that was, insane. I can't see many players that would be able to do that.
All right, so that's QUARESMA at number 2. So look, I can't wait to see who's shirt number 1. So Jeremy, shirt number 1, of course, Cesc. I mean, listen, for me, if I'm picking, I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously. If you picked an all-time Arsenal 11, he would be in it. I mean, how good was he?
It was insane. It was absolutely crazy. I remember seeing him turning up at that training ground, 16-year-old kid with a horrendous haircut.
Awful haircut.
Awful haircut. And the style that goes with the haircut, not much better. I just thought, who's this kid? Where did they get this kid from? Anyway, his first training session, you just think, let's get into him.
Yes,
let's have a look at him. Let's see if he's going to be able to take it. We couldn't get the ball off him. Every time you think, I'm just going to get him there, give him a bit, it was just off. It was just that 1-2, bing, bing. He had eyes all around his head. He could see everywhere. And then you just think, how can I can't get close enough to this kid, to give him a little challenge. And the vision he had, he didn't need to wait an extra second to make your run, because you and I love to make them run behind, and you were waiting for as soon as he get his head up, bim, I'm gone.
Yeah.
With him, by the time he controlled the ball, he didn't even have to.
He knew where he was.
He knew straight away, bam, the ball was beyond the defender, and I was off. So yeah, Cesc was just crazy.
You think back then as well? I mean, I know he certainly slowed down. He's obviously still going now, but back then as well, he could run. He was quick. He could rat around as well.
And nobody thought he could run. That's even worse. When you see somebody that is fast, so you just think, you know what, he's faster than me. Yeah. So I've got to admit he's faster than me. But Cesc, you never thought he was fast. So you always thought, he's not really fast. I'll be all right. But with the ball, that's when he was fast. You always thought, I'll catch him up, because he's got the ball, I'll get back. Couldn't get back. He was gone. All them little touches, and then you thought, I'm going to get him, and always too late. It's just one of the, definitely, in my starting 11 for Arsenal ever, definitely.
Did you know when he first came into the dressing room that he would go on to become as good as he was? Was it the ability always there and you said, he's going to go to the very top?
Yeah, always thought. And the fact that they had to sell Patrick Vieira because this kid was coming up, then even everybody at the club knew, to sell Patrick Vieira, to get Fabregas at 18 years old to replace him, then you knew he was going to go to a different level. And at 16, like I said, when he first joined, to see what he was doing with the first team straight away, the way he was, I could have not been like this. Even if I had all the talent, I could have not mentally feel so comfortable. I was like Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, all them guys. I was scared. Every session, I was just like, oh my God, I better not miss a pass there. Or if they tell me to do this, I'll be like, I'm. But he never. He just came in, no problem. Like he was one of them guys. Like he's already played for 10, 15 years. He had that maturity that I've never seen for a 16-year-old.
Now, you played against them that day. I think you scored as well.
I did, yeah.
So what was it like? Obviously, you said about playing with him. What was it like playing against him?
Well, that day actually felt quite good because obviously I scored. We drew 1-1 when we expected to lose with Boro going to the Emirates. I thought that's going to be a tough one. First time I get back to the Emirates, I thought the fan might be a bit.
Were they all right with you? The fans good?
They were all right. Yeah, they were quite good. Obviously, they were all right until I scored. then things changed. But then, playing against them was kind of, in a way, because I knew them. I've trained with them for many years. I knew what I could do to hurt them. And that's how I kind of, every time I played against Arsenal, I done all right because I just knew playing and training with them, every day, I knew what I could do to hurt them. Obviously, after the game, Cesc was not really happy. I thought I had to really come on, Cesc, give me that shirt, mate.
Well, he had to beg. He didn't just go here, Jeremy.
He had the ump, Obviously, they were expecting to beat us. It was an important season for them. They wanted, they really needed the 3 points. And me scoring as well, they were everybody were a bit gutted. The fact that, realistically, I should have stayed at Arsenal and still be there and be part of that team.
Well, going back to, obviously, your time at Arsenal, I mean, you was there around the Invincibles era. And obviously the Champions League, getting to the final, we know they lost. But what was it like? What were the players like in terms of that season?
That season was just like something magical, something like it's a story that you couldn't even write in a book. It was just like there's never been any argument. There was always just a great atmosphere, everybody fighting for each other. There was just like, we felt from the beginning of that season that we were just invincible. Nobody were going to beat us. Whoever played, whoever come on, even when we were 1-0 down, 2-0 down, struggling, thinking, oh my God, that's tough. Thierry Henry, coming out of anywhere, just taking the ball, dribbling 2-3 players, scoring. When he was a bit off, Dennis Bergkamp doing something crazy, or Freddie Ljungberg, Robert Pires. It was just crazy. And you had some proper leaders in the team, which when someone was not too much, performing and not really in it, Patrick Vieira, Gilberto, they were there. Come on, get back in the game, mate. And that's why Arsene Wenger didn't really have much to do, because he always kind of put the same starting 11, and here we go. That was there. Everything was just clicking. It was just made. All them players were like a part of a puzzle that was just went all the way, man.
Yeah, certainly. Well, listen, Jérémie, really appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing your shirts. Thanks you guys for watching Shirt Swap. Make sure you like and subscribe.